So is the real estate market crashing? Not really as of yet, but the real estate market in the Greater Toronto area is not doing great. Buyers are scared from entering the market because chances are the prices are going to fall even further. And on the flip side, sellers are not getting the price what they are looking for. And the overall consumer confidence is all-time low. Let me quickly show you a trend line showing the average prices of all property types in Greater Toronto area. So here we go. All right, so here on the screen, you can see the average prices of all property types from February of 2021 to March of 2025, so to the May of 2025, my bad there. And if you see in the last 4 months, we have seen an upward tick consistently of the average prices in Greater Toronto area. But these are average prices. So these might include few outliers, so that's why this data might be skewed. So that's why we've seen upward pressures consistently. But if we check out the benchmark prices, here that the picture is different. It's showing the prices have remained more or less flat in the last 3 to 4 months. So if you see that the difference between the price point from the peak of February of 2022 to May of 2025, the prices have come down about by 300,000, nearly $300,000. That's quite a downward jump. And here you can see in the February to March of 2022, this is where the Bank of Canada started introducing multiple interest rate hikes, and we saw a downward pressure onto the prices. And in the month of April to May of 2023, this is where the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed and the fixed interest rates came down drastically, and we saw a higher activity in the market, and the prices also started climbing up. And again, in the month of June and July of 2023, the Bank of Canada again stepped in. They increased interest rates twice, that is in June and July of 2023. And after that, we've seen a downward pressure onto the prices. And fast forward to 2025, in the beginning of this year, we had a tariff chaos on the south of the border. And due to that, there was a lot of anxiety amongst the buyers from entering the market. So especially for condos, we are seeing downward pressure for condos, for freehold properties, that is houses, that is detached, semi-detached townhouses. The prices, we've not seen an upward pressure onto the prices. They have held steady. They have remained more or less flat. And at the same time, we've not seen any drastic downward pressure for houses, but for condos, yes, there we are seeing downward pressure for condos. And down the line, I think there will be more downward pressure for condos, especially cookie cutter condos, not all condos. For cookie cutter small shoebox condos, yes, we will see downward pressure. And for houses, I think the prices are going to remain stable. So I get this question a lot by my clients, that where to find the deals or how can they find a great deal in GTA. So to understand that, we need to calculate the month of inventory and understand what type of market we are in. Are we in buyer's market, seller's market, or an imbalanced market? And to calculate the type of market, first we need to understand the month of inventory. Month of inventory is basically the rate at the properties are being listed onto the marketplace, and at the rate the properties are being absorbed in the marketplace. Okay, so the month of inventory is between 1 to 3 months, then we are in seller's market. If it's between 4 to 6 months, then we are in a balanced market. If it's beyond 6 months, then we are in a buyer's market. So as of now in downtown Toronto for condos, we are setting on 7.5 months of inventory. So definitely we are in a buyer's market. So as a buyer, you can lowball offers, you can negotiate aggressively on the price point, on the list price or the purchase price. And in GTA, for all property types, this includes condos and as well as freehold properties, that is houses, we are sitting out on almost 5 months of inventory. So more or less, we are in a balanced market leaning towards buyer's market. Okay, so if you see this data and the month of inventory, which is highlighted in red, that's where we have a higher month of inventory. So this in these cities, basically in Brampton, Mississauga, Vaughan, and the city of Toronto and Markham, here you can, as a buyer, you can throw in super low ball offers, or you can aggressively negotiate on the price point. One thing I want to point out, in city of Toronto, yes, we are sitting on a 5 month of inventory, but this data is cumulative of condos and as well as freehold houses. That's why we're sitting out 5 months of inventory. And one more thing I want to point out is getting a deal or a decent deal is different than affordable prices. Let me explain. So here you can see these market where the month of inventory is high. That is the month of inventory which is highlighted in red. That is market like Brampton, Mississauga, Vaughan, City of Toronto, or Markham. In these market, okay, fine, you might be able to negotiate on the price and might get a discount on the list price. But if you see the average prices are expensive over here, everything is beyond or higher than 1 million. But if you're someone who's looking for a affordable prices, I would target these cities as Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa. Here the prices are lower. Even in Oshawa, you can see the average price point we're looking at is higher 700s. So as a buyer, if you're looking for affordable prices, I would target these cities. So here on the screen, you can see average prices, the trend line of average prices for all property types in Greater Toronto area. So here you can see since 2015 to 2025 how different markets have performed in the GTA. And here you can see Oakville is the most expensive, but I want to clarify one more thing, that this data includes all property types such as condos and freehold properties. So that's why if you see City of Toronto, the price point of City of Toronto is less than Markham, Vaughan and Oakville, because in Toronto we have so many condos. So that's why that brings the overall price point below as opposed to other neighborhoods, that is Oakville, Vaughan and Markham, because they have more freehold properties and the price point of freehold properties is higher as opposed to condos. So that's why. And if you see the most affordable city or neighborhood is going to be Oshawa. You can see the prices went up in the 2020 to 2021 to 2022, and after that they have kind of remained steady or they have come down a little bit in the year of 2024 and 2025. Let's check out Ajax. Ajax, if you see, it's been pretty interesting during COVID time. If Ajax, the trend line of Ajax is this red one. House price point in Ajax and Pickering. Pickering is the green trend line. They were at par, and now the Ajax has come down to even below Whitby, Pickering, Mississauga, and Brampton. And City of Toronto and Burlington. This is also pretty interesting. I want to highlight is at one point, that is in 2022, the prices of Burlington and City of Toronto, they were at par as well. But again, City of Toronto has so many condos, and now the price point of Burlington has come down to let me just see this. So yeah, it's just below Toronto or over here. So I just want to highlight these points, and let me show you a few options which were recently sold in the Greater Toronto area for you to look at. So to begin with, I just want to show you the cheapest house sold in the month of May of 2025 in whole of GTA. It is this one. This is in Oshawa. This is the price point. The price limit I've put is $500,000. So, and only one option shows up, that is 363 Central Street. This was sold for $490,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, and has a 4 parking spots. And this was sold on the 4th of May of this year. And if I show you pictures, it's a dated house, but at the price point, this is what we're gonna get. And just to show you a few pictures, this is the house for $490,000 sold in Oshawa this year. Now let me show you a few realistic good options. So here I've put a filter of a house which is going to have minimum 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1 or 2 parking spot minimum. I'm going to add at least 1 and more. Okay, and the price point, the maximum price point here on the screen you can see is $800,000, and you can see over here the major cluster we can find is on the east end, or maybe on slightly on the north, that is northwest, that is Brampton. So I'm going to pick and choose few good options just to give you an idea what you can find a good livable house under $800,000. So let's check those out. So here I filtered it out. So I'm going to start with Pickering first. This is 372 Sparrow Circle, sold for $762,000. This was sold on May 27th. 3-bed, 2-bath, and if I show you the pictures, this is how the house is. It's a decent livable house in my opinion. Decent kitchen too. So you get the idea. So this is what you can find. Now I'm going to move on to the next one. That is, I'm going to go towards Ajax now from Pickering. So in Ajax, you can find is 15 Woodward Crescent. This was sold for $750,000. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, has parking spots, and has a finished basement, which is nice. And this is how the house looks like from outside. Pretty standard, and decent layout of the house as well. Okay. And let me show you what's on the further, if we go out further east, what we can find over there in Oshawa, or maybe let's say Whitby. So let me see. So in Whitby, you can find something like this. Let's go slightly north, and this is 132 Timber Mill Avenue, sold for $720,000, and this is 3-bed, 2-bath, and doesn't have a finished basement. Has 1 parking garage. And let me show you the pictures. Here we go. Not the best pictures. That's the kitchen there. Decent sized bedroom. Yeah, so I hope you get the idea. So yeah, so you can find freehold properties on the East End at affordable prices. That's what I wanted to highlight, and I just want to show you what's available, and I'm going to run the numbers with you. This is again 16 Gold Eye Street in Whitby, listed for 799. It's been on market for 16 days, and this is what the house looks like. So I'm just going to show you a few pictures. Again, standard layout, and does not have a backyard. Yeah, I don't think so they have a backyard. Let me just double check for you. Yeah, it does not come with a backyard. And if you want to run the numbers, let's say, just for your quick reference, let's say you get this house for, just as an example, hypothetically, for let's say 775. If you're someone who's putting 20% down, amortization period is the length of the mortgage, that is 25%. And in today's time, you can get interest at high threes, but I'm going to take it as 4%, just as an example. And your monthly carrying costs, inclusive of property taxes, principal, interest, is going to be $36.99. So just wanted to highlight that. So yeah, I hope I was able to give you some idea what you can find at what price point in the East End, or as in Greater Toronto area. And if you've got any questions about real estate, please feel free to book a call with me by clicking on the first link mentioned in the description below. Thank you for watching. See you soon.